Alright, so for today's video, we are continuing with our Age of Overlord content. We're going to be going through two combos that feature the Diabella Star and the Sinful Spoils package, so you can sort of see what can be done with this engine. I think it's really good and it's going to be able to provide a ton for different decks in the meta, and I would love to hear all of your thoughts, and if you have any of your own ideas about which decks and strategies can utilize this engine. Also, make sure to like the video if you like it as well. And as for the first thing, I already mentioned in yesterday's video that you can search the Rescue Ace Hydrant, therefore you are able to access it very consistently, and it's not just a 1-for-1 like it will be since Fire Hydrant is a level 1 monster, but for this package, in order to get to it, you actually just need to pitch one card, and you know, it's not just limited to only being a monster. You can pitch a lot of different things, and it's always great to be able to look up these OCG things on Road to the King. So this page is just so incredible to bring different tournament results and like combos that the people do. So make sure to check that out if you want to be up to date with everything going on in the OCG, because a lot of times stuff also translates to the TCG as well. So as for this combo, we are going to be going through it, and essentially, like I talked about yesterday, but I only briefly mentioned it yesterday, you're going to be able to access the Diabella Star via the Sinful Spoils Hunter Fiend, because it searches the Diabella Star monster from your deck to your hand. So you basically get to your Diabella Star with the effect of the Hunter Fiend, and then Diabella Star can be special summoned by sending one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard. And you can actually just send a Rescue Ace trap card, because it's going to be able to be sent back to your field, so you are not negging. And in case you draw it, this is just a very much free discard that you need for Diabella Star, because you would have to send a card, and that's not ideal if you don't have something really perfect to send, if you know what I mean. So on summon, the Diabella Star is going to be able to set a Sinful Spoil spell or trap directly from the deck. So essentially you get to this next one, which just please don't try to like go ahead and set this, because it is a quick play spell card. So you can set it if you want, but it's not going to be able to use it immediately. So you want to be going for the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. So this one says, send one other face-up card you control to the grave to special summon a level 1 fire. So you can send the Diabella Star actually, because it's just going to be free pretty much. You don't really need it right now, and you only want to access the Hydrant. So you send it away, and you get to your Hydrant. And this is also going to prove itself very useful in your graveyard later on. So from that point on, you're essentially just going for your Rescue Ace plays. You haven't normal yet, so you just go for Hydrant. You can get you to your Airlifter, which you can normal summon and get the effect to get Emergency. So essentially only with the Sinful Spoil Search quick play spell card and one card you have to discard, you get consistently to the Hydrant. You play usually, like I showed in yesterday's video, I showcased a couple deck lists. You would usually play 3 of this, so you're able to get to this one and 1 of this, because everything is going to recur itself, which I will show you. So right now you go for Emergency. You want to get out the Turbulence. You send something away, and then the Turbulence is going to resolve. And right now I just picked 3 cards because one of the trap cards is in the graveyard, which Emergency is actually able to access. So this is what I was talking about, because of the Emergency effect, where it says during your main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, target one Rescue Ace trap in your graveyard, set it. So you are able to access what you pitched earlier. And I just love when cards are free, you know? So, okay, you pass the turn to your opponent, and let's say you used up an Extinguish, or you used up a Contain or whatever, and now it's your turn again. So right now we need to be looking at what resources we have in the graveyard, and we have the Sinful Spoils Hunter Fiend as well as the other one. Both of them are going to be doing something. So let's read through this one, because this one is actually limited to 1 of the effects per turn and only once that turn. So right now, since the turn has passed, you can actually use the second one. You can banish this card from the graveyard. You target 1 Snake Eye or Diabella Star monster, which is obviously the Witch, and you get to add a level 1 fire monster from your deck to your hand. You place a targeted monster on the bottom of the deck. So that's why you only need to play 1, because you're going to be able to search it again in case you have an additional copy of the Hunter Fiend, and I just think that's kind of awesome. So you essentially get to banish it, you put it back, and then you search the Hydrant, so you have follow-up. And as for the quick play spell card, it also has an additional effect, where you get to banish it, you target a Sinful Spoil spell or trap that is banished or in the graveyard, you put it on the bottom of the deck and you draw 1 card. So you could have done this before, but why do it if you can just get the additional effect of the Snake Eye card later, and then you use the effect of the Quick Play spell card. You get to banish it. Okay, so this is put to the bottom of the deck. You banish it, and you get to draw 1 card. So I think I just placed like something like a random, yeah, I placed an Enojama. Okay, so you draw a random card is basically the point. But now if you have an additional copy of the Quick Play spell card, again, you're able to go for the Diabella Star. You can special summon it again and set the spell card that you put back 1 more time. So I love when engines are not, they don't need to be big because everything just recurs itself. So I think that's kind of awesome. And that's pretty much it for the first combo. So with Rescue Ace, you don't need to rely on 1-for-1 or, you know, kind of just hoping you open really well. It can break sometimes, and I just think this is going to power up the deck immensely. Let's talk about the other combo. So people in the OCG started to play this with Tearlaments because you can special summon or search the Jet Synchron. And a little issue is that Chaos Ruler is banned over there as well as over here, because in Tearlaments, obviously Chaos Ruler is just busted. If you still want to search it, there are still plays that you can do. So essentially what they have been doing, we're going to be first talking about the Revolution Synchro routes, because this is like what they want to be going for. But if you have like more ways of going into synchro monsters, that's really good. So the Jet Synchron Diabella Star play is pretty much there for when you don't open the Revolution Synchron, and you also play the Adventure Package. Okay, I have to talk about this as well. You play it because it's so free to pitch it with the Diabella Star, and we discussed this yesterday as well. But basically, if you have this basic like combo, you can just normal summon the Revolution Synchron. With Faithful, you get to just, you know, have a free card so you can search Illegal Knight, get rid of the Draco back, put it back. So we're just doing this so we don't need to have any additional cards. But the Illegal Knight can be special summoned, and you can just easily make a Baron, since it's a level 7 and a level 3, and then the Revolution Synchron is going to come back as a level 1. So again, we stacked a random card to the top of the deck, so Revolution Synchron can special summon itself back by milling a card. Now it's back, it's a level 1, and with the token, since it's level 4 and the Revolution Synchron is an Earth Tuner, you can make a Naturia Beast. So this is like their combos that they were going for. However, I think I reset everything over here. And if you just want to access Jet Synchron, so you can go for level 8 Synchros, this is also an option. And like I said, it's obviously better with Chaos Ruler because, you know, it's just insanely busted. And also it's a Dark Dragon. So you are able to then revive the Jet Synchron and go for the Hot Red, the like Veiler type of monster that like negates a card on the field, the level 9 Synchron. But basically this doesn't matter anymore because it is banned. So let's talk about what happens if you like want to access Synchros but you only have access to the Jet Synchron. So you go for the Diabella Star and you can just pitch the Water Enchantress, which is so free, and that's pretty much also why they started playing this, because you want to have free cards like we talked about before. So you set the card we discussed earlier, the original Sinful Spoils, and then you're able to go for your like Rite of Aramesir and everything else, because you don't do anything on normal summon. It's sometimes awkward because you want to normal summon like Rhinoheart at times, but it's not always going to conflict. So you pretty much can play whatever you want. Maybe we won't even play it, but like it is an option, and I feel like it's interesting to mention. So with Rite, you just make a token, you place the Faithful Adventure, and over here, what you can do, obviously, is, okay, so you can activate this, and immediately we're going to be sending the Faithful Adventure since it's really of no use. But before that, you can use the effect if you have an additional card or like something you can summon or whatever, so you also get the Draco back and you can search something. But I didn't go through all of that because it's really not that important for this particular combo. But like, yeah, you just pretty much can do whatever you want with the Faithful. But here, you just send away the Faithful so you can get to Jet Synchron. And then with the Jet, okay, so that's pretty much it. Yes. Now, with the Jet and the Diabella Star, you're able to go for level 8 Synchro monsters. And we need to talk about which monsters can actually be accessed via this little engine. So you can go for Dragite if you want, which is an option because you also have Waters in the Graveyard, which would be Rhinoheart. So this is like one of the things you can go for. There are many level 8 Synchro monsters that you can make, but sometimes their materials are not ideal. So you want to be looking for generic stuff, like generic things you can make. Like one of the synchros you can go for is Visas Amritara. However, you can only make it with, like in this deck in particular, since it needs a light, you would have to go for like Revolution Synchro to go into Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is a light. And then with Revolution Synchron, you just get it back. It's level 1, you make Visas Amritara. So in that case, you don't really need Jet Synchron, but it is a level 1 tuner, which is always going to be able to access something. So this is pretty much just a little combo, how in tandem with the Water Enchantress, you can go for Jet Synchron. And it doesn't need to be limited to Tearlament. This is really what I love. You know, over here, we just have Adventure, Diabella Star, and you can access anything that you want in different types of decks. So it's actually just really, really flexible. Those two, like the Hydrant and Jet Synchron, would be like the best monsters you want to go for. Another level 1 fire is Rena. So you can maybe utilize this in like an Infernoble strategy or like a warrior type of deck. So there are a lot of options out there, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts if you did any of exploring on your own. So yeah, if you like this video, I don't really do combos and stuff, so I don't know, it was really fun for me to do this. And if you like this type of content, please let me know and I'll try and provide more for you guys. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.